Okay. All right. Today we're going to explain counter argument. And counter argument is usually used in the ACT persuasive writing. You state your position, showing where you stand in a particular issue. And then we know for every position there has to be a counter argument. And a counter argument is stated that it's an opposing or refutal argument. In other words, it's the opposite of what's being stated. For an example, if I had needed to add a counter argument for this position, the age of buying cigarettes should be strictly enforced, then the counter argument for that would be in the final analysis. In the final analysis is a transitional word, and transitional word is words that connects one ideal to another. In the final analysis, an individual has a right to purchase cigarettes underage as long as they are not smoking. And that's what I came up with a counter argument for the age of buying cigarettes should be strictly enforced. All right, now, who can tell me what is a transitional word, as we already stated? Can anyone tell me that? They are words that do what?
Connect one idea to another.
All right, very good. All right, let's look at the first position. Could you read the directions for me, Denzel?
Add the counter argument to each of the positions. Remember to use a counter argument transition word or phrase.
All right. Which one would you like to do? The first one?
Yes. Movie theaters should relax the ban on children under the age of 13 attending a PG-13 movie.
All right. First of all, let me ask you this here. Who can tell me what the word ban is? Hope, can you tell me what that word means, ban?
To forbid people from using something.
All right, very good. And what about PG-13? What is that, Denzel?
PG-13 is, it's a parental guidance if under 13 because something rude or inappropriate may be in a movie.
All right, now, can you come up, we'll give you about a minute or two, to come up with a counter argument for this position. They feel that they should be relaxed, meaning that they should not have a ban for children at the age of 13 to come into the movie theater to watch a PG-13 movie. Now, what type of counter argument would you write down for that?
The counter argument that I would write down for it would be, I believe that children under the age of 13 should be enforced. I believe that the ban of children under the age of 13 and PG-13 movies should be enforced because of the negative effects that it could have on a child's mind.
All right. Now, what would be your transition word to connect that?
Later on.
Okay, later on. Could you zero in on that? Later on. Okay, now, is it possible that you can write that sentence?
Mm-hmm.
Write it out so they can see how it should be. And for number 2, could you look over that number 2, Hope, and read it? Read the position, and then you can write your counter argument, then we'll come back to you.
Okay. If I buy a music CD or pay to download a song, it is mine to share with others. The counter argument I will use is, I believe that the unauthorized reproduction of CDs should not occur in the long run. It would be decreased record sales.
Okay, now what is your counter argument for that?
General speaking.
I'm sorry, your transitional word. Okay. Okay, so now for number 2, they are in favor of people buying CDs to download to sell at a cheaper price. And your counter argument is saying that you are against it. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that the reason why you are against it is because of what?
Optional.
Oh, here it is. Here you go. Here it is right here. In the long run.
In the long run, it will decrease record sales.
All right. Okay, Denzel, let's zero in. Can you write that a little bigger on this green paper? And then, Hope, can you write your number 2 down so the audience can see? You gotta write larger though. Okay, while you're writing this, let's review what a counter argument is. It opposes, it gives you the opposite of what's being stated. So if I say I'm against something, then I must do or restate or think of what the other person might say that's saying that they are in favor of. If I'm in favor of, I have to think of the negative effect of someone might say that they are against it. Okay, could you reread your answer to number 2? If I buy a music CD or play to download a song, it is mine to share with others. And let's see what you wrote down, Hope, so they can see it on the
I believe that the unauthorized reproduction of CDs should not occur in the long run. It will decrease record sales.
Okay, could you underline the transitional word to use to connect one ideal to another in the long run? Very good. And so you still writing? Okay, you finished? Okay, let's review Denzel for number 1 about movie theaters. Movie theaters should relax the ban on children under the age of 13 attending a PG-13 movie. And he wrote, read it again, Denzel.
I believe that children under the age of 13 should be enforced because of the negative effects the movie can have on a child's mind later on in life.
Okay, now could you please underline your transitional word in that sentence later on? Okay, very good. All right, let's do 2 more and then we are going to move on to something else. Okay, now the next one reads that the age, we've already done that, the age of buying cigarettes. Okay, we did do this here in the example, so let's do the last one. All guys that turn 18 need to register for the draft. Our nation deserves to have military force that is prepared to defend our country. All right, now, according to our states that you are legally able to defend your country at the age of 18. So let's come up with a counter argument, because they're saying that all guys that turn 18 need to register for the draft. So that's more or less like a command. This is something that they should do. So let's come up with an option stating that something that someone's against registering for the draft at the age of 18. Okay, Hope, can you come up with something for the draft?
The counter argument I came up with is, on the contrary, once a young man turns 18, it should be optional for him to register for the draft due to religious beliefs.
Okay, now, what would be your transitional phrase?
On the contrary.
Okay, could you please write that down so the audience can see how you took a stand against that? And Denzel, while Hope is writing that's her sentence out, what do you think, and as a repeat, why do you think we have counter arguments? What if I just said no counter arguments? Would that make it, would that make the paper good if you was writing it? In an ACT prep?
No, the purpose of counter arguments is to open up the reader's mind to not only one side of a position or statement, but to all sides, all different paradigms and viewpoints.
Excellent, because therefore you're not being biased. Very good. And what, Hope, you're almost finished?
Almost.
Okay, and let's go back and review. You did an excellent job. The purpose of using transitional words is to do what?
Connect ideas.
Connect one ideal to another. Okay, very good. And then we're going to close up for the examples and illustration of counter argument. After Hope writes her final counter argument for all guys that turn 18 need to register for the draft. Our nation deserves to have military force that is prepared to defend our country.
Okay.
Okay, and here's, could you please reread your answer to your counter argument, Hope?
On the contrary, once a young man turns 18, it should be optional for him to register for the draft due to religious beliefs.
And what is your transitional word or phrase?
It will be on the contrary.
On the contrary. So let me underline this. All right. Thank you. You ready? All right. Today we are going to discuss how to find the mode, range, medium, and mean. All right. Mode. Who can tell me what mode is? Hope or Denzel?
The mode is simply the number which occurs most often.
All right. The mode is the number that appears more than once. All right. Let's zero in on that. The number that appears most often. Okay, let's look at number A, where it says, the direction says, find the mean, median, mode, and the range for each set of numbers. Okay, in letter A, what would be the mode? If you say that the mode is the number that appears most often, what number appears more than once in letter A? Hope?
The number that appears most in letter A is 7.
All right, then you will simply write down the number 7. Okay, and that would be the mode. All right, let's look at letter B. What number appears most in letter B, Denzel?
The number that appears most in letter B is the number 3.
Okay, could you please write the number 3 in letter B? All right, thank you. All right, for letter E, Hope, what would be the mode in letter E?
The mode in letter E will be 10.
All right, would you please write that down? All right, Denzel, what would be the mode for letter F?
The mode for letter F is number 6.
All right, very good. Okay, let's review this before we move on to the next vocabulary. The number for letter A, we said is number 7, would be the mode. So, could you please define mode for me again? Mode is what? Both children?
The
Mode
number-
is,
The
Is
mode
number
is the number that
that
appears most often.
okay, the number that appears most often. Okay, let's move on to mean. How would you define mean, Denzel?
To find the mean, you have to add up all the numbers that you have been given and divide by that amount of numbers.
Okay, so it's simply called the what? The mean is simply the what? What would you say the mean is? Simply the what,
The
Denzel?
average or the subtotal of data divided by the number of add-ins in the data.
All right. So let's look at letter A and come up with the answer for the mean. So you said you would do what, Denzel?
I would add up all the numbers.
Okay, let's do that now. Could you add up all the numbers with your calculator and tell us what you have?
The mean for letter A is number 6.
Okay, and tell us how you did that. You added up all the numbers and got what?
I
Show it
got-
on your paper. On your, not your calculator, but show it on your scrap paper, the orange paper.
I added up all the numbers
And you received what?
and I received 30. So 3 plus 4 plus 9 plus 7 plus 7 equals 30. And I divided by the amount of numbers that I already had. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. I divide by 5 and that will equal 6. And that's my mean.
Okay, could you please write that on the answer key under your sheet? So the mean is letters, the number 6 for letter A. All right. Hope, could you please do letter B and find the mean for that? And Denzel said it's simply the average. You add up all the numbers and then you divide by that number that you have. So what would you do? You add 15.
Add all the numbers up.
So that would be 15, 3, and 3, which would give you what?
21.
You would have 21. And you would divide it by how many numbers? By what? Number what?
3.
By 3.
And you will get 7.
All right, that would be 7. Could you please write the number 7 down? Okay, and then could you show that on your paper how you did that, just for our viewing audience? All right. Thank you very much. All right, let's move on to the next given set of data. For letter E, what would be the mean? What would be the mean for letter E? And what would you do? Tell us what you would do, Denzel.
For letter E, I would take,
You would add what?
I would add 10 plus 6 plus 3 plus 10 plus 1. And I would have 30.
And then you would divide it by how many numbers?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the answer would be 6. And that will be my mean for letter E.
All right, could you write that in for us, please? All right. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, for letter F. All right, Hope, would you please add your numbers and find out the mean? Give us the average for letter F. You would add what? Won't you
4
write it down?
plus 6
Mm-hmm.
plus 2 plus 6 plus 9 plus 3 plus 5, and that gives you 35.
Okay, and you're going to divide that by what number? 1, 2, 3,
7.
5, 6, 7.
And you will get 5.
Okay, could you write the mean down? Okay. So now you divided it by 7. So what was your total here, though?
My total was 35.
Okay, so I don't see 35, though. 35 divided by 7. That was your total.
35 divided by 7 is, you'll get 5.
All right, so could you put that down? All right, thank you. All right, now, we have already discussed what is the mean again, children?
The
The
mean,
mean is the number
average.
that appears the most often.
And what is the mean?
The mean is the average, and the mode is the number that appears most often.
All right, I made a mistake. All right, let's move on to discuss what is the median. The median is you list all the numbers together and from the lowest to the highest, and the number that's in the middle would be your median. Okay, let's move on. All right, let's move on to okay, so we got the median, the middle number. All right, so let's start with letter A. And Denzel, could you please go and determine what would be the median? And the definition says you line your numbers up from the lowest to the highest, and then the number that's in the middle would be the median.
So
Okay,
the
let's
lowest
look at that.
number is number 3. The next is 4. After that is 7. Then 7 and 9. The number that is in the middle, and that will be our median, is the number 7.
All right, very good. Okay, could you please write that in for us, please? All right. Hope, would you please give us the answer to letter B? What would be the median for that number, letter 1533?
The median for letter B will be 3.
Okay, could you tell us what did you do?
I put them in order from smallest to largest, and I got 3 in the middle, and that's how I found out my median.
Okay, very good. Would you please write that number in for median? All right, Denzel, could you do the next one for letter E and tell us what would be your median? Going back to the definition saying that the median, you line your numbers from the lowest to the highest, and then the number that's in the middle will be the median.
So the lowest number for letter E is number 1. After that is 3, then 6, and 10, 10. The number that is in the middle, and that is the median for this particular letter, is number 6.
All right, very good. Are there any questions?
No.
No.
All right, Hope, would you please do letter F and find the median from the listing your numbers from the lowest to the highest. Okay.
Okay. My median will be 5.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's correct. All right. That's the number that's in the middle.
Right.
Very good. So you can put your number 5 there. All right. Now, we're ready to move on to the last vocabulary, which is range. And who can tell me what do you think range might be?
The difference between the largest and the smallest number.
All right. And if we had to look at letter A, what would be your answer for, what would be, first of all, what is the largest number in letter A?
The largest number in letter A is the number 9.
And what is the smallest number?
3.
So the difference between those two would be what, Denzel?
6.
Okay, let's put that down. All right, Hope, would you please do letter B? What would be your smallest number
My smallest number will be 3.
and your largest number?
15.
And would you demonstrate that on your paper? And then show us the difference between those two.
Okay. You will get 12 for your range.
All right, would you please list that for us, please? All right, very good. All right, let's do letter E and find the range. Denzel, could you tell us the smallest number in letter E?
The smallest number in letter E is 10. The largest number in letter E is 10. And the smallest is number 1.
All right, and then,
And 10 subtract 1 is 9, and that will give you your range.
all right. All right, Hope, let's look at letter F. Your smallest number is what?
2.
Okay, which one is it?
2.
Okay, and your largest number is what?
It will be 9.
Okay, and could you please demonstrate and show us the answer that you will arrive at?
You will get 7.
All right, and that would be your range. All right, you guys did an excellent job. Now, are there any questions? So let's review this process. Mode is what, Denzel?
The number that appears most often.
And the mean is what, Hope?
The average.
The average, okay. And Denzel, the medium is what?
The middle number.
And how would I arrive at the middle number, Denzel?
You will list the numbers in order from smallest to largest.
And the number that's what?
In the middle will be your median.
All right, excellent. And then the range, Hope?
The difference between the largest and smallest number.
All right, very good. Thank you.